guys, welcome to a special series of 6 Minutes. I'm Jason Fulmore, SC Wrestle, and each year, the top high school boys, one from each state, is awarded by the National Wrestling Hall of Fame the Dave Schultz Excellence Award. It's based equally on outstanding wrestling success, scholastic achievement, and citizenship and community service. And each year, one is awarded for each state. And our state winners this year are in Alabama, Corey Land of Moody. In Florida, Tom Crook of Tampa Jesuit. In Georgia, Matthew Singleton of Woodward Academy. In North Carolina, Kyle Montaperto of Cata. In South Carolina, David Hunsberger of Burns. And in Tennessee, Ashton Davis of Cleveland. Now, I'm not 100% sure that everyone knows who Dave Schultz is and the impact that Dave had on wrestling and the wrestling community and why this award is named after him. So I wanted to take a few minutes before the interview to explain who he is and that sort of thing. So Dave won world and Olympic championships in the early 80s, 1983 and 84. He also won silver and bronze medals throughout the 80s, but he was murdered in January of 1996. If you happen to know or have watched Foxcatcher or a number of other documentaries and movies about his life and about the situation with DuPont, you get a sense of kind of what happened in his story. But I think it's really important to talk about what the National Wrestling Hall of Fame has down in their bio about Dave Schultz. So I'm going to kind of read some of this. By his own admission, Dave wasn't, quote unquote, wasn't the greatest athlete in wrestling, but was one of the most intelligent wrestlers in the history of the sport. He once told his mentors, quote, "I cheated. I learned how to wrestle." He is the only American to win the legendary Tbilisi tournament twice. He's won the World Cup 5 times. He's won the Pan American Championships, so on and so forth. His achievements on the mat are outstanding. But Dave Schultz is probably best known for how he was off the mat. And this is how he's described. He was the greatest friend and diplomat across the nation and around the world. He always had time to talk. He always wore a smile. His sportsmanship transcended national boundaries. He learned Russian so that he could communicate with other wrestlers, and he named his son Alexander after a friendly rival from the USSR. So every year we award, or the National Wrestling Hall of Fame awards, the Dave Schultz High School Excellence Award. Congratulations to the 6 winners from our Southeast states. Corey Land also won the award for the entire Southeast, which encompasses 11 states, not just the 6 we're highlighting. And then he also was the first Alabama wrestler ever to win the national award. So congratulations to each of these 6. I hope you enjoy the interview with each of them. It was really a blast to talk to each of them. I'm here today with Kyle Montaperto, CATA, which is Central Academy of Technology in North Carolina.
Yep. Yes.
So CATA, I just so I can kind of wrap my head around the school, is it more of a technology school? Is it
well, it's actually kind of an art school.
Art school. All right.
Yeah. So it's a weird school. It's a magnet school. So it's really a public school, but anybody from the county can come to the school for high school. So I guess kind of all of the middle schools in the county are like the feeder school, I guess you call it.
Yeah.
And so it's a big chunk of the school is directed towards arts, but there's different like academies within the school, I guess you'd call it. And I'm in the medical academy. So I'm not in any of the art stuff. So
I thought the Magnet Academy was a wrestling magnet because you guys had quite a wrestling team.
Yeah, no. I've heard that. Yeah. No, we do. I think we just have that kind of the benefit of being able to of kids from all over the county being able to come into the school.
Yeah.
That kind of gives us a step up because anybody can choose to come to the school.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
definitely. I mean, and I
sure.
think that's great. So you wanted to focus on medical, and this is going to jump way ahead of where I was going to go with this, but
Mhm.
we're here right now. So is that your focus, like as you head
Yeah,
to college and stuff?
yes, it is. I've wanted to be, I mean, I know I wanted to be in the medical field for, years now. That's kind of like what I want to do when I'm after wrestling. And so I bounced around from specialty to specialty. I want to be a surgeon for a long time. Still do, I guess. But yeah, so that's like where my goal is after wrestling.
Cool. What piqued your interest in being a doctor or being in the medical field?
Um, I don't really know. It's been a long time since I decided that's what I want to do.
Okay.
I started off young. I wanted to be a Navy SEAL, and then I kind of just like wanted to like back then I was like I just like really want to like make a big difference. Like I wanted to like impact the world and be a big person. I figured like what better way of doing that than being a Navy SEAL, where I go and save the world in like some crazy superhero
Sure.
outlandish way. And I was like 6 at the time.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, and then I realized that, maybe I'm not a fan of like get shot and killed. So I decided that I would do it a different way and be a doctor. And obviously, maybe I wouldn't be able to save the world in such a drastic way, but maybe I'll be able to save someone's specific person's world and save their life. So that kind of
Yeah.
started me in that.
Did COVID have any impact on that idea or that, you were like, wow. I mean, seeing how much they really were on the front lines. Did it have an impact on you?
Um, it kind of like it kind of actually like piqued my interest a little more because it gave me some time to like when I was sitting at home bored and all that, like I was able to just like go like down rabbit holes and go look at like all the stuff that people are doing and really kind of like fine tune where my interests were.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of moved away from just not really knowing what I was going to do and kind of sharpened like where I was or what I'm interested in doing. So it
That's
kind of helped
cool.
me. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, I don't want to spend all our time talking about that
Right.
because we are here to talk about you being the Dave Schultz Award winner for the state of North Carolina. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you know you got nominated, and how did you find out you won?
Okay, so I found out a long time ago. I found out probably right a few days after my state tournament. So like back in February or early March, maybe.
Okay.
My coach told me that one of the people I don't know his name. This was a long time ago, and
Yeah.
one of the higher ups on like the board of something for the people that like kind of were a big part of the voting for this committee, like for this award.
Yeah.
So like said that he nominated me and
Okay.
like for the award. So I was like, wait, does that mean I got it? Because like the guy who's like doing the main voting kind of nominated me for the state of North Carolina. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I guess he came up to my coach or he came up to my mom at the state tournament and was like, hey, I'm nominating your son. And so that's kind of how I heard about it because I think my mom told me about it. And then so like we were always like following it along. And one of the people that worked for like the I guess award, the company or whatever that does the award, reached out to me on Instagram. So they told me about it and just made sure that I had like all the forms and whatever filled out. So like I knew the award was happening. And like that it was that I was in the runnings for it. And then I guess my mom, I caught home from school maybe a week ago, and my mom told me that I won it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty cool. You select company. I mean, in the state of North Carolina, Quincy Mondays won it, and Richard Trainer's won it. And I don't know if you know this, but John Mark Bentley, I think, was the first ever winner in North Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So select company, but you know about select company. You are one of the few 4-time state champions in the state of North Carolina.
Yeah.
I was sitting there on the side of the mat, and I've watched several of your matches. And that one, you got injured pretty early, and there was a lot of blood time. Was there any concern, like you weren't going to be able to like stop the bleeding, and something was going to happen?
So not at first, actually. At first, I didn't know that it was actually at the extent that it was like the injury was at the extent that it was. I thought I was like, all right, because I mean, I got a couple bloody noses throughout the season. I was like, okay, a little bloody nose, right? So they
Right.
stopped it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is really happening 10 seconds into the match. And I was like, whatever. So they start like wrapping up my face. And like I saw them, like they started putting like this little like black like ointment on my lip, and I couldn't feel my whole face but I was like, okay, that's not that big of a deal. Like I just got hit, whatever.
Right.
And they started putting this stuff on me, and I was like, that is weird. They've never done that before. And I didn't know if it was they were putting it on my mouth, on my nose, any of that. And then all of a sudden, my coach, he turns away, puts his hands behind his head, and like looks at my mom, who's in the stands, and goes, "It's bad." And I was like, "Oh my, what are you talking about? It's bad." So like I feel up here, like feel for all my teeth. I was like, I got on my teeth, and I was like, okay, so I got on my teeth. It can't be that bad, right? And then they're like, it's your lip. And I was like, what are you talking about, my lip? And they're like, yeah, it's split in two. And I was like, oh, what do you mean my lip's split in two? So at that point, I was like, all right, so that could be bad. I mean, I was worried about like having, you know, like messed up face for the rest of my life. But I was like, I figured they would get me all taped up and whatever and get it where they would stop bleeding. And then so that wasn't that big of a deal to me. But then, you know, they stopped it. They let me go back to wrestle, and they stopped it again like 20 seconds later because it kept bleeding. And then went back again, and they stopped again. And I was like, okay, this is getting concerning. Like, what if I keep bleeding? I don't know how many blood times I have. Like, I don't know how much blood time I have left. Like, I don't know any of that. So I was like, this could be kind of real. And I mean, this was a pretty big match for me. I mean, being a 4-timer has been my goal for 10 years, and for it to like not come true because of my freaking mouth bleeding,
that would suck.
That would really suck. So it kind of hit me like at that last injury time that they called, or that the ref called. And I was like, oh no. And so then I was like, all right, just tape me up. Like, just tape me up around my face. I don't care how you do it. I don't even want to breathe. I don't care if like, that's not even that. That's just a trivial matter compared to me finishing out this match. And so they just wrapped me up, and towards like the end of the match, like it starts like bleeding through the tape. And I was like, I just like buried my head in the back. I was like, you are not seeing this blood, Mr. Ref. And it kind of just worked out.
You know, you're, I mean, I watch you a lot, and you're kind of a banger. You get in there and you really kind of scrap it up. And it was just kind of my opinion that you look like, well, maybe I'm going to try to just be a little more finesse. I'm not going to put my head in a position where I can get hit. Yes. Is that true?
Very. I was just trying to I was just trying to keep the match going. I was trying to keep them in bounds and like not get in any position. I was just trying to stay on top.
Because you were already up like 5-1 or 6-1 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that.
Something like that. I mean, you probably know better than I do. I just remember you were up, and I was thinking to myself, just hold it together for 2 minutes, and you know.
Exactly. That is my exact thoughts. I was like, I'm just gonna get this match over with, because every second I'm on the mat is just danger time that I could be getting hurt, or it could be starting bleeding again, or it could get worse. And I mean, at the time I didn't even know like what my face looked like. I knew I had a cut on my lip somehow, but I didn't know what the damage was or any of that. And I was like, this could be really bad. So I was kind of curious as to how that would turn out. But
well, one of the big parts of the Dave Schultz Award is academics, obviously, as well as community service. So can you tell me, did they ask you what is like one of the parts of community service that you're really involved in?
The biggest, I would say, would just be helping out in my wrestling club. I guess I go during the week. I go to C2X Wrestling Academy up the street. It's about 10 minutes from my house, and I mean, I'm there very, very regularly. And I've never really looked at it like I was like going out of the way to like do community service. I was just there because I mean, like the little kids over there, they're so much fun, and they're all like really energetic, and a lot of them are like really good wrestlers. I look back at how like where I was in the sport when I was 8 years old or 9 years old, and I was like, these kids would tear my head off. And I just like, it's really interesting to me. And I mean, a lot of these kids have that like drive that like is really surprising for someone at their young age. So I mean, I just like being around that. And plus, I don't know, they like when I walk in the room and stuff, they'll like jump on me and start beating the crap out of me. And I think that's kind of fun. So I mean, I just, you know.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was wondering, when did you start? Like, were you good when you started? How did that all work out?
I was started when I was 6 years old, and I lived in Arizona at the time, and I lost like my first like 28 matches straight. Like it was really bad. Yeah. So
but you perseverance, right? You mean okay.
Very much so. So I had a rough start, but kind of just I just enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, and my parents did a really good job of like not making it about the winning and the losing, and it was all just about trying my best and just having fun with it. So just
Cool.
stuck through it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. All right. So what's one talent that Kyle Montaperto has off the mat?
off the mat,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I mean, I like to think that I have just so many of them, but I'm just playing. um, so, oof. I like it's how I mean I like a lot of I like just being active, to be honest. So I do play a lot of sports, I guess, but like not like
Uh-huh.
obviously competitively. But I mean basketball, don't even get me started. I'm awful at basketball. I'm like
Okay.
five nothing. So not basketball isn't exactly my thing, but
Uh-huh.
a lot of like kind of athletically related sports like around like moving my body, like gymnastics and stuff.
Hmm.
When COVID first started, I was like teaching myself like flips and stuff, like doing that stuff every day. And
Hmm.
I mean, I really got to enjoy that, like kind of calisthenics, that kind of stuff. I mean, I just like being able to like kind of manipulate my body in ways that like most people wouldn't be able to do,
Yeah.
which I think is pretty. I mean, that was kind of my thing.
That is a talent, I will say.
Yeah,
Definitely.
the
All right.
best.
So wrapping it up, last question. University of Virginia.
Mhm.
So why the University of Virginia? Why was that the place for you?
So, oh, I had a very specific like when I was going through the recruiting process and all that, I had a very specific kind of checklist that I wanted to have like college meet. Like it was kind of like a list of requirements that I wanted every college like meet. And
Mm-hmm.
it was obviously to have a good wrestling program where I know I could reach my goals and be a national champ. And I wanted them to, or I kind of had to have a school that met the my standards of academics. And because obviously I want to go into med school and go be the best
Mm-hmm.
I can off the mat. And kind of like want to pursue my own goals in education and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
also, I mean, there was also the other smaller stuff about like size of the school and the weather and all that. And so it
Location, proximity to the house, to home. Was that
um,
also a consideration?
that was part of it. I
Yeah.
wanted to be
Okay.
kind of close, but not close enough where like they could just show up at my door whenever they wanted to and surprise me. I definitely want a little bit of space there, but
Yeah.
it kind of just came down to it. And I was talking to all the coaches, and I just realized that I really, really liked. I mean, the coaches, the team, and I really just got to know them. And UVA obviously checked off all of my
Academic.
requirements,
Yeah.
and so it just kind of came down to the fact that that was where I felt the most wanted, felt the most welcomed, and I really just connected with the coaching and the other recruits there the most as well. So that was just it. Kind of just made sense.
Yeah.
It was a hard decision, but when you kind of just came down to the facts of it, it kind of just was the best decision for me.
Very
So
cool. Well,
yeah,
congratulations on four-time state champion. Congratulations on the Dave Schultz Award. It
thank you,
is a big deal, and we wish you best as you progress into college, man.
appreciate it.
All
Thank
right, you
you,
take care. See ya.
appreciate it.